I had a good 1990 and was racing quite strong, especially within Australian races and overseas. I went away in 91. I missed the World Champs in 1990. I was on the team, but unfortunately found myself removed from that team about a week before the start of the race for some strange reasons. And I had a lot of fire in my belly to come out the next year and have a great World Champs. So missing 1990 was the year that we got 1, 2, 3. So gold, silver, bronze in the men. And pretty dirty, I didn't get to be a part of that one. So 91 came around and fortunately was on the Gold Coast in my hometown. I got to race in front of friends and family, which was fantastic. Mike Pigg hadn't been beaten in about 20 races in Olympic distance. He hadn't been beaten by anybody or not even close. So he was the race favourite. Rick Wells had won the unofficial World Champs in 1998, who also got bronze in Avignon in '89 World Championship. So he also won the Commonwealth Games test event as well. So he was also one of the favourites. And I was only just turned 20 years of age, just quite a young kid. And I remember getting out there in the race and had a decent swim. But I got on the bike and I just felt like I couldn't ride fast enough. Like no matter how hard I was trying, I just didn't seem to be getting tired at all. So I had a really good day on the bike, and that was the key to that event because the bike rides were fairly quick and just under 54 minutes for the 40K. So the heat was on, and I knew when Mike caught me at about 8 kilometres. Normally when he caught up, he'd go past like you were nailed to the floor. But in this instance, he just inched past just slowly. I'm like, I'm on today, I'm going to have a really good day. So a lot of guys got dropped on the bike, dead flat course, but it was quite quick. And it just came down to the run, which fortunately I was able to get to the last 400 metres together and have a sprint finish. We were staying down at the Pines, down in Eleanor, and I was rooming with a guy called Jason Meadows and a guy called Shane Johnson. And we were talking about night before the race about what would happen if this was happening in the race, and it was all about the event the next day. And Shane goes, I said to Shane, if I'm with anybody with a kilometre to go, I'm going to win. And so going through the race, going through the motions, we're in the run, Shane punched it on the bike course, so he had to pull out. He was there with 1 kilometre to go, and he's yelling out on the sideline going, remember what you told me last night? And I'm going, I've got this. And sure enough, we 500 metres later, we were starting to get towards it where the finish, where the crowd was and the excitement. And I'd sort of tried to move around to get to the front just to position myself properly. And I don't know what happened, but it triggered a response from the other two guys where they just started to sprint. And we were still a long way from the finish line, about 400 metres to go. And it was really funny. At training, I was always leaving 5 seconds behind when we did our 400s because I could run those 400s a bit quicker. So I'd always practice starting behind and catching up. And all I was thinking of in that race was just one last 400 to go. Like I'm 400 metres from the finish line. I've only got to do one good one here and I can win this. And so I wasn't worried that they got that gap, but they sort of got a gap and they kind of just stayed there. And I was like, okay, time to go. I launched my sprint with about 20 metres to go and ended up coming around the outside of the guys in the corner and was fortunate enough to be able to take the win. And they tied for second, so it was quite a close race. It was interesting. Like I didn't have a long life up to that point in time, but I remember thinking that's everything I ever wanted to do in my life. The Olympic Games and the Commonwealth Games weren't really on the horizon for us, so that was pretty much the pinnacle of the sport for World Championships. And I just remember probably not being able to soak it all in. And it wasn't until that night when we went to the presentation and they showed the race on the big screen. So I saw it through my lens, which was quite narrow, because all I was thinking about was the finish line. But then to watch it on the big screen, it was quite. That was probably the first time I'd realised the enormity. Being in the room, there was thousands of people there for the celebration, and just watching it back on video and seeing how it actually looked to everybody else who was watching the race. It was that sort of gave me goosebumps watching that.